Constipation is unpleasant at the best of times, but add this to the process of spinal surgery and it becomes one of the most stressful aspects of early recovery. You know, it happens to a lot of us after surgery, and the thing is that we're not supposed to be sitting for long periods of time, but here we find ourselves on the toilet hoping there's going to be some movement and it's not happening, and you're worried that you're sitting for longer than you should. But it's not only that that's an issue. When you're already sensitive in that abdominal area, and now you have this bloating and pressure from that constipation, you become even more sensitive. And on top of that, when you're on the loo, you feel like you need to push to get some movement happening. But rightfully so, you're concerned that extra pressure is not very good for things like stitches and inflammation and newly added hardware. This is why it's extremely important for you to know about constipation before you go into the surgery, so that you can chat to your doctor beforehand about plans to avoid it or at least lessen the severity of it. Let's talk about why constipation is such a big problem for so many back surgery patients. There are actually a combination of things that affect this. Firstly, we're not moving as we usually do. Secondly, our eating habits change, so we may be taking in less fluids and not enough fiber and things like fruits and vegetables. But also the stress of the surgery affects how our bodies function. And then there's the biggest culprit of them all, which is medication in the form of anesthetic during surgery, as well as the medication after surgery. Opioids tend to be the go-to medication, especially in a spinal fusion, and there's a very good reason for this. Breakthrough pain is not good for our nervous systems, and the surgeons try to manage it and limit it as much as possible in the first few weeks. The problem is that there are not many medications that are as effective in dealing with pain as opioids. The problem is that when we take opioids, they do cause constipation. So if you're going to need to take them, you're going to have to manage your bowels. What can you do to manage constipation? There are a number of things that you can do to help your bowels move naturally, but then also medication you can take, natural and medicinal. I've read lots of ideas from different people on what works for them, so I'm going to share as much as possible, but I'm also going to tell you what worked for me. The first thing is activity, to get up and move as much as possible. We know that motion is lotion in terms of our healing, but what it also does is it allows the contractions in your digestive tract to be stimulated, which moves the waste along much easier. Then diet. Get as much fiber into your diet as possible through fruits, vegetables, and any sorts of grains, as well as things like dried fruit, apricots, prunes, that sort of thing. I've spoken on this channel a lot before about how I'd have a smoothie at breakfast time because it was liquid and easier to digest and I could sip on it. And I'd put things in like fruit, green leafy veg, as well as oat bran. Try and avoid things like heavy-based carbs and processed foods because those are difficult to digest. Keep hydrated with plenty of water and other liquids, but try and avoid sugary drinks if possible. Stool softeners are also available in the form of tablets or sachets. They are often recommended 2 to 3 days before surgery, and you either take the tablet or mix a sachet in water. For me, that didn't work because they actually created a lot of gas in my system and didn't actually soften the stool. I've also heard that prune juice helps a lot. I haven't tried it, but a lot of people swear by it. You can also try suppositories. There are laxative suppositories, but what I found worked really well, and this was my go-to, the number one thing that worked was using glycerin suppositories. They flood liquid into your colon, which then helps to move things along. Now, before you use them, go and chat to your doctor or pharmacist about them, but as I said, that was the most effective thing that worked for me. And then medication changes. If you are really struggling, speak to your doctor about it. Maybe there's an alternative medication you can take that doesn't affect you as badly. And then over time, when you're able to get off the opioids, that generally solves the problem as well. So in a nutshell, what worked for me was starting my day with a liquid high fiber breakfast, avoiding heavy carbs throughout the day, getting in plenty of liquid, especially water, walking around as much as I could, and then when I needed that extra bit of help, using the glycerin suppositories. Let me know if you've had a strategy that's worked for you so that you can share it with other people to help make their lives a little bit easier. If you want more tips on unexpected side effects and how to manage them, look out for the rest of the videos in this series, the This Happened to Me series. And then as always, if you subscribe to the channel, you'll be alerted when new videos come out.